All right, you got to see this. Donald Trump and his administration are still trying to do some damage control with everything that's happened in the past couple of weeks with Epstein. And I guess today they deployed JD Vance to go do that damage control. In a new Fox News interview, he was asked about the Epstein documents and everything that's going on with it, just like a general update. And instead of engaging with the question, which would be good faith, JD Vance took another approach. Instead, he's going all in on the new Trump excuse. There's another one for the Epstein files, which is just blame the Democrats for Donald Trump not releasing the files. They can never take accountability. It always has to be somebody else's fault, while Donald Trump is right now the only person in the United States of America that can actually release these documents, and he's choosing not to. So I have a couple of clips to show you from this Fox News interview that JD Vance did this morning talking about the Epstein story. Before I do so, make sure to subscribe to the channel down below, drop a like on the video, comment, let me know what you think about the story, and let's dive in, shall we?
Full transparency, but I have to say, Maria, I laugh at the Democrats who are now all of a sudden so interested in the Epstein files. For 4 years, Joe Biden and the Democrats did absolutely nothing about this story. We know that Jeffrey Epstein had a lot of connections with left-wing politicians and left-wing billionaires, and now President Trump has demanded full transparency from this, and yet somehow the Democrats are attacking him and not the Biden administration, which did nothing for 4 years.
Was it the right move?
All right, wait, let me pause it right there before we get into another question from the Fox host to JD Vance. What a cop-out. What a terrible excuse for how Trump and his administration have approached the whole Epstein story regarding the documents. I mean, his entire thing is just blame Joe Biden and the Democrats. I mean, I wasn't kidding when I said they'd never take accountability. They have to bring up Joe Biden, who hasn't been in office for 6 or 7 months now, to try to justify Donald Trump not releasing these Epstein files. The position of the Democrats, I think you would agree with this at home, is that if there are Democrats, as JD Vance alleges, Democrat billionaires, politicians, whoever, in the Epstein files, and they did something wrong, hold them accountable. I hold them accountable, throw them in jail, arrest them, indict them. I don't care. If they're in the documents, we want to see that too. We're not picky. Democrats don't care, regardless of political affiliation. You do something wrong, you be held accountable. Republicans, on the other hand, are taking a different approach. We know that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. We know that the FBI redacted his name in the Epstein files to, kind of help him out a little bit. And the Republicans are perfectly okay with that. They're perfectly okay with Donald Trump being implicated in the files and him not releasing them just to protect the Republican Party. The Democrats have an entirely different approach. And his whole, Joe Biden didn't do anything for 4 years is such crap because a lot of these documents surrounding Epstein were still wrapped up in court cases. Remember, Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted under Joe Biden. So it was almost impossible for him to do that. And also, Joe Biden didn't promise to release the files. Donald Trump did. Joe Biden never said, hey, I'm going to do this. Donald Trump did. It's a cop-out excuse from JD Vance.
Move for Comer to send subpoenas to the Clintons.
It absolutely was, and it drives home how, while the Democrats have tried to make this Epstein thing about anything but, the fact that Democrat billionaires and Democrat political leaders went to Epstein Island all the time, who knows what they did, but it's totally reasonable to ask these questions. What you saw in the House's subpoena is they are trying to investigate all of the things related to this particular case. I know a lot of Americans want answers. I certainly want answers. And I think James Comer and the team of the House, they're doing the right thing. And of course, we know that Clinton, or allegedly he went to the island 26 times, 28 times. Totally appropriate for Comer to be asking what was going on at that island.
Let me get
Okay, all right. I mean, there's so much misinformation here. I don't know where he got that 26 number that President Bill Clinton visited the Epstein Island. He just literally pulled that out of thin air. But if JD Vance's position is that, hey, these guys, the Clintons, apparently Hillary Clinton included, hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, of which there's no evidence for Hillary, but of course Bill Clinton. If the standard is they hung out with Epstein, they should be subpoenaed to talk about what they know under oath, then why aren't we doing that to Donald Trump? Why aren't we doing that to Donald Trump, who is Epstein's best friend, arguably closer with Epstein than Bill Clinton was with Epstein. And again, if Bill Clinton did something wrong, hold him accountable. That's the position of the Democrats. But Donald Trump was closer with Epstein. There's seven different instances of Donald Trump flying on Epstein's plane. We have all these weird connections between Donald Trump and Epstein. Trump acknowledged that Epstein used Mar-a-Lago to recruit young girls into his sex trafficking ring. So he preyed on young women at Donald Trump's properties. So if JD Vance is like, yeah, let's subpoena the Clintons to talk about this under oath and investigate this deeper, then let's subpoena Donald Trump. Get him in there because he clearly knows something. He's implicated in the files. And then in another clip, he was asked about that secret meeting that Trump admin officials had at the White House recently to discuss everything that's going on with Epstein, the backlash to the Epstein story among the MAGA base, and his back and forth here is just so absurd and laughable. Take a look.
Give us some clarity on this meeting that is reportedly happening or happened last night at the White House about the Epstein files and how you're communicating the Epstein story.
So I've seen so many different fake reports about this. So let me set the record straight. There was no meeting at my house last night. There just wasn't.
Was there a meeting at the White House?
We did meet at the White House yesterday, but not at the time that they said that we were going to meet, and not about the subject that they said that we were going to meet about. We have a great FBI director and a great Department of Justice lead, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and we met to talk about how to ensure we have justice for the American people. We actually didn't talk about the Epstein issue at all. That was never meant to be the subject of the meeting. And it's one of those things where I guess somebody leaked a calendar entry maybe, and then people assumed that it must have been about Epstein, even though it had nothing to do with Epstein. On the Epstein issue, what the president has said very clearly, because we've had other meetings about that, is that he wants us to be fully transparent and he wants the credible information out there. So we're working to compile the thousands and thousands of documents that are out there for full transparency. But
Okay. Well, that's cleared up, everybody. Yeah, they didn't meet to talk about Epstein, and Donald Trump is trying to get the files out there. It is such absurdity. You know, this is in front of the Fox News audience, so I think your average viewer at home is kind of eating this up. You know, an average viewer of Fox News is saying, oh yeah, JD Vance is right, he's so great. But this is so disingenuous because, again, Donald Trump has the power to release all of the Epstein files right now. The FBI has already combed through them all and made necessary redactions, including Donald Trump's name, of which he could also have that redacted no longer. He could release the files right now, and he's not doing it. So JD Vance, again, pushing this crap that Donald Trump is looking for full transparency and getting people together for transparency for the American public is such a lie. It's such a lie. And also, one last thing. I mean, this interview is annoying me. I can feel it. His whole thing that, they didn't meet about Epstein is completely contradicted by every single report out there. Every single news outlet. CNN, even Fox talked about this. MSNBC, NBC, all these different outlets confirmed that Epstein was discussed at the White House meeting Wednesday night. So that was absolutely a topic of conversation, given the fact that Pam Bondi was there, Kash Patel was there, JD Vance was there, Susie Wiles was there, all of these other top Trump officials involved in the Epstein conversation were there. And JD Vance is just trying to sit here and say, no, it wasn't. He is such a snake. He's a snake oil salesman. He's so slimy. I just always get this slimy vibe from JD Vance of a man in a suit trying to sell you a used car. And that's what he strikes me as. But look, I just wanted to show you these clips. This is the new excuse that Trump and his administration are running with, that we want transparency. It's the Democrats who are not, when in reality, it's the complete opposite. But I will leave the video there. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here. Make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. It goes an incredibly long way. Drop a like on the video, comment. Let me know what you think about this story. And as I always say, I greatly appreciate you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.